Nobody told you keeping your cat indoors would feel like a moral question, but somewhere along the way, it became one. Maybe it was a comment from a neighbor. Maybe it was a post you scrolled past that made you pause a little too long. Maybe it was just a quiet Tuesday evening when your cat sat by the window for an hour straight and you thought, "Am I doing something wrong?" That feeling is more common than you think, and it is doing real damage. Not to your cat, to you. Because it is making you second-guess a decision that, when you actually look at the evidence, is one of the most protective things you could have ever done for another living creature. Here is what I want you to understand before we go any further. The guilt you feel is not based on facts. It is based on a story. A story about freedom, about nature, about what cats are supposed to want. And that story has almost nothing to do with how a cat's brain actually works, what a cat's body actually needs, or what the data actually shows about how long cats live and why. Today, we are going to replace that story with something better, something real. We are going to walk through what is genuinely happening inside your indoor cat, physically, neurologically, emotionally. And by the time we reach the end of this video, you will not just feel better about your choice, you will understand it in a way that most cat owners never do. There is one thing I am going to save for the final section. It is something that almost no one frames this way, and it changes how you see every single ordinary moment you spend with your cat. Stay with me until we get there. It is worth it. Let us start at the very beginning, with a number that stops most people cold the first time they hear it. The average life expectancy of a feral cat, one with no owner, no shelter, no consistent food source, is somewhere between 2 and 5 years. Some researchers put the median even lower, 2 years. That is not a life cut short by bad luck. That is a life shaped entirely by environment. The outside world is not neutral for a cat. It is actively hostile in ways that accumulate silently and fast. Now set that number next to this one. An indoor cat with a caring owner routinely lives between 12 and 18 years. Many reach their early 20s. The oldest reliably documented cat in history, a cat named Creme Puff from Austin, Texas, lived to 38 years and 3 days. 38. She never roamed freely outdoors. The gap between 2 years and 18 is not genetics. It is not luck. It is one variable: the presence of a protected environment and a person who pays attention. But here is where it gets interesting. Most people already know, in a vague way, that indoor cats live longer, and they still feel guilty. Why? Because the length of life argument, as powerful as it is, does not touch the emotional core of the worry. The worry is not really about lifespan. It is about quality. It is about whether your cat is experiencing something like suffering. Whether the walls of your apartment represent deprivation in some way you cannot fully name, but cannot fully dismiss either. That is the question worth answering properly. And to answer it, we have to talk about how a cat's mind actually works, because it is genuinely different from how we imagine it. I want to pause here for just a second. If you have been carrying this particular worry around for a while, drop a comment below right now. Just say, "Indoor cat owner," and tell me how long your cat has been with you. I read these, and there is something about seeing that number written down that puts things in a different light. Go ahead, I will wait. Okay, let us get into the neuroscience of this, because this is where the story really changes. A cat is not a small adventurer trapped in a fur coat. A cat is an ambush predator. That distinction matters more than almost anything else we could say about feline psychology. An ambush predator does not thrive through exploration and novelty. It thrives through mastery of a known space. The entire strategic logic of how a cat hunts, rests, moves through the world is built on the premise of knowing its territory better than anything else does. This is why your cat inspects a new paper bag for 20 minutes before deciding it is safe. This is why moving the couch 3 feet to the left creates what looks like an existential crisis. This is why introducing a new piece of furniture triggers a full investigative process that can take days. The cat is not being dramatic. It is doing exactly what its brain is designed to do: cataloging, mapping, threat assessing. Every unfamiliar object is a variable that needs to be resolved before the environment feels secure again.
Now run that framework against the outdoors. Outside is a space where the map never stabilizes, where other cats cross through without permission, where new smells arrive every night, where sounds are unpredictable, where the boundaries of territory cannot be permanently established no matter how hard a cat tries. For a brain wired around the need to know and control its space, the outdoors is not freedom. It is an endless, unresolvable problem.
Research published by animal behavior scientists across multiple European institutions confirmed something that cat owners often sense intuitively but cannot articulate. Cats with regular outdoor access show measurably higher cortisol levels, the primary stress hormone, than cats who live entirely indoors. Chronically elevated cortisol does not stay in the background. It erodes immune function, it accelerates inflammation, it creates wear on the cardiovascular system and the kidneys. It ages the body faster at the cellular level. Your indoor cat is not caged. Its nervous system is operating in the environment it was built for. Predictable, mappable, stable, fully known.
When your cat picks the same spot on the same windowsill at the same hour every single afternoon, that is not boredom you are watching. That is mastery. That is a brain doing exactly what it evolved to do in exactly the conditions that let it do it well. And here is what happens when a brain is not spending its energy on survival. It redirects. And where it redirects is one of the most underappreciated facts about living with an indoor cat. Domestic cats raised in stable indoor environments develop social cognition that outdoor cats simply do not have the bandwidth to build. They learn to read human facial expressions. They track changes in your vocal tone with a precision that researchers initially underestimated. They notice when your movement through the apartment is slower than usual, when your breathing pattern changes, when you sit differently than you normally do. A study from the University of Vienna found that cats exposed to consistent human contact in stable environments develop what researchers describe as secure attachment bonds. This is the same terminology used in developmental psychology to describe healthy infant-parent relationships. Secure attachment. Your cat does not just tolerate you, it uses you as a reference point, a safe base, something to return to when the world presents something uncertain. That is not dependency in a passive sense. That is a real, reciprocal relationship built over time in the specific conditions your home provides.
And now this is the part I want to slow down for, because what comes next is the thing most people never connect. And once you connect it, you cannot unsee it. Subscribe if you are finding this useful, genuinely, because the next section is something I wish every cat owner could hear, and the more people find this channel, the more of these conversations we can have. Hit the button and stay with me. Here is the thing about cats that veterinarians will tell you is the single hardest part of their job. Cats do not show pain. Not in a way that is visible. Not until they physically cannot hide it anymore. This is not a personality trait or a species quirk. It is one of the deepest evolutionary programs in their biology.
In the wild, a cat that shows weakness is a cat that becomes prey. So the masking instinct runs deep. It runs automatic. A cat feeling unwell continues to eat, to groom, to walk normally, to look at you with the same expression it always has, until the illness has progressed to a point where the body simply cannot maintain the performance.
Vets call this clinical masking, and it is the reason why feline diseases are so frequently caught late. Chronic kidney disease can develop across 12 months before a cat shows any behavioral changes. Hyperthyroidism builds quietly. Early-stage diabetes goes undetected. A urinary blockage, which is a genuine, life-threatening emergency, can begin as something invisible and become critical within 48 hours. The early warning signs of almost every major feline health condition are not in how the cat acts. They are in the tiny, unremarkable details of daily routine. A water bowl that empties slightly faster than it used to. Litter box clumps that are larger or more frequent or strangely absent. A cat that finishes its food but is half a pound lighter than it was 2 months ago. A cat that walks to the litter box, stands inside, and walks back out having produced nothing. That last one is a same-day emergency. Now here is the question that reframes everything.
Where does an outdoor cat drink? Somewhere outside. A puddle, a garden, a neighbor's bowl. You do not see it. You cannot track it. Where does an outdoor cat use the bathroom? Somewhere in a garden 3 houses over, or under a hedge, or in a patch of dirt you will never walk past. Where does an outdoor cat lose weight? Gradually, invisibly, over weeks, while you see it once a day and cannot detect the slow change. Every single piece of diagnostic information is scattered across a territory you do not have access to. Your indoor cat cannot hide from you the way an outdoor cat can. Not because it trusts you more in some abstract emotional sense, but because the evidence lands somewhere you can actually see it every day.
Without trying. The litter box you scoop is a diagnostic report. The water bowl is a kidney function test. The food dish tracks appetite and metabolism. The way your cat moves through the apartment gives you behavioral baselines that most pet owners with outdoor cats never develop because they never have the data density to build them. This is what it actually means to have an indoor cat. Not just longer life in the abstract, but an actual, functioning early warning system that you run every single day without calling it that. And the difference between catching something on day 30 and catching it on day 230 is not minor. It is often the difference between a manageable condition and a terminal one, between years of comfortable life and a goodbye that came too soon and felt entirely preventable. Let me tell you what this looks like in practice. Imagine a cat owner, someone who has had their cat for 9 years, who notices one Tuesday morning that the litter box clumps look different. Not dramatically different.
Just a little larger, a little more frequent. Something in the back of their mind files it away. By Thursday, they have mentioned it to their vet. By the following week, they have a diagnosis of early-stage kidney disease. By the week after that, they are managing it with a dietary change and a medication that costs almost nothing. That cat goes on to live another 6 years with good quality of life. That outcome existed only because someone was there to see a litter box twice a day in the same home, with enough baseline knowledge to notice that something was slightly off. That person is you, right now, with your cat, today. This is the reframe I promised you at the start, the thing most people never frame this way. You have been thinking of yourself as someone who made a lifestyle choice for your cat, someone who keeps it indoors, someone who decided, for various reasons, that outside was not the right option. And you have been carrying a small, quiet question about whether that was fair. But what you are actually doing is more specific than that.
You are running a daily health surveillance operation for a creature that is biologically incapable of telling you when something is wrong. You are the only reason that information is visible at all. You are the system. And without you, without the closed environment you provide, without the routine and the consistency and the physical proximity, those signals disappear into a backyard 3 streets away and no one ever sees them.
That is not a small thing. That is not a compromise. That is an active, ongoing, daily act of care that most outdoor cat owners simply cannot provide, no matter how much they love their animals. So the next time someone implies that keeping a cat indoors is somehow limiting, you can smile, you can nod, you do not need to argue, because you know something they do not. You know what actually goes on inside that home every single day. And so does your cat. If this video changed how you see your situation, share it with one person who keeps their cat inside and still wonders if they should feel bad about it. That is the person who needs to hear this most. And if you want more of these conversations, the kind that actually dig into what the science says instead of what the internet assumes, subscribe and stick around. There is a lot more where this came from. Your cat is already home. And home, it turns out, was always the right place.